The Coleman family reunion thrummed with the pulse of our Ohio town. Barbecue smoke mingling with the scent of mown grass. Aretha Franklin's voice weaving through the chatter, and kids darting past tables laden with ribs, cornbread, and sweet potato pie. I stood on the fringes, a red solo cup of tepid lemonade in hand, my guitar case propped against a tree like a quiet confidant. At 32, I, Marcus Coleman, knew these gatherings like the back of my hand, but this one felt like stepping onto a stage rigged to collapse. 5 years ago, I'd fled to Nashville, chasing country music. A dream my family, gatekeepers of respectability, branded as heresy. They had no clue I was Marcus Reed, a chart-topping artist with a Grammy nod and millions in the bank. I hid it, clad in worn jeans and dusty boots, here only for Grandma Rose's 80th. But their scorn, honed to a razor's edge, was already slicing through the air. The Colemans were a monument to propriety. My grandfather a pastor whose sermons packed pews, my father a deacon with a handshake like a contract, my sister Tanya the town's first black female mayor, her every word a press release. Success was a suit and tie, a degree framed on the wall, a life scripted by church and status. I was their disgrace. At 18, I swapped an Ohio State scholarship for a Greyhound to Tennessee, writing songs about whiskey-soaked nights and gravel roads, country music, which they dismissed as white trash noise. To them, I wasn't just misguided. I was a wound to their legacy, a black man daring to step outside their carefully drawn lines. Now, back after half a decade, I braced for their venom, each smile a prelude to a stab. I arrived early, hauling tables, but their disdain was relentless. My cousin Derek, sprawled with a beer, spotted me and sneered, "What, Marcus? Still busking for quarters? Bet you're couch surfing by now." His laugh was a megaphone, pulling heads. I muttered, "I'm good," but my fists balled. Aunt Lorraine, carving ham, sighed theatrically. "Marcus, you're pushing 33, still playing that redneck nonsense? No black man's ever made it in that world. Give it up before you embarrass us more." Her pity was a blade, and nearby cousins snickered, their eyes glinting with malice. Uncle James, wiping sauce from his chin, bellowed, "Let's be real, boy. You're a walking joke. Tanya's out here changing laws, and you're fiddling for peanuts, making us look like fools." The yard seemed to shrink, their laughter a cage. My dad, flipping burgers, didn't glance up, his silence a heavier blow than their words. Their mockery was a ritual, each word a lash meant to break me. They didn't just dislike my music, they hated what it represented. A rejection of their sacrifices, their climb from Jim Crow to suburban pride. As a kid, I'd been lectured, "Don't act like those white boys, Marcus. You're a Coleman, not some hobo." When I left, their calls dripped with bile. "You're humiliating us," Dad wrote. Lorraine called my early gigs coon shows for hicks. Even Tanya, my once close sister, had snapped at the last reunion. "Why can't you just fit in?" Their taunts were a public shaming, a chorus insisting I'd failed by choosing myself. Every jab, Derek's smirk, Lorraine's sighs, James's roars, aimed to crush the boy who dared to dream beyond their rules. I wanted to vanish, to sling my guitar in my truck and speed back to Nashville, where I was a king, not a clown. But Grandma Rose, 80 and fragile but with a gaze like a spotlight, beckoned me to her porch rocker. "Marcus, you playing today?" she asked, her voice a quiet command. My gut twisted. My songs, raw, soul-bared tales, weren't her gospel hymns. They'd be kindling for their ridicule. "Not sure, Grandma," I said, scratching my neck. "They don't want it." She leaned in, eyes fierce. "You sing your truth, baby. Their noise ain't your measure." Her words steadied me, but the thought of performing for this firing squad made my pulse race. Their barbs didn't let up. At the dessert table, Lorraine muttered loudly to a cousin. Marcus still thinks he's Willie Nelson. Pathetic, right? Derek, grabbing pie, snorted. Family punchline, that's you. Bet you're dumpster diving in Nashville. My dad, passing by, hissed. Wasted your life, son. Could have been somebody. Each word was a brick, rebuilding the shame I'd fought to shed. I felt like that 18-year-old again, shrinking under their judgment, my arena triumphs fading. Only my nephew Jaden, Tanya's 10-year-old, offered light, trailing me with a notebook, asking about my guitar. Uncle Marcus, you a star yet? He'd said, eyes bright. I'd grinned. Not to them, kid. Dinner gathered the family in a loose circle of chairs, the air thick with grease and grudge. Tanya rose for a toast, her mayor's polish gleaming. To Grandma Rose, to our name, to climbing higher, she said, her glance at me fleeting, dismissive. Glasses clinked, but she added, Marcus, got something to share? The yard hushed, their eyes a gauntlet. James smirked, arms crossed. Lorraine's brow arched, daring me to flop. I could have dodged, but their cruelty sparked a fire. I was done being their whipping boy. I got something, I said, seizing my guitar. Grandma wants a song. I'm playing for her, not your applause. My voice trembled, but I stood tall, strumming Backroad Prayer, a platinum hit they didn't know was mine. Its chords wove my Ohio roots with Nashville nights. Left home with $1 and a dream, chasing songs where the river runs clean, they said I'd fail, said I'd break, but I found my soul on a backroad's grace. I sang to Grandma Rose, her eyes wet, and Jaden, who mouthed the lyrics, his notebook gripped tight. Before the song ended, my cousin Kayla's shout pierced the air. Holy, wait! She waved her phone, my music video frozen on screen. Me, Marcus Reed, commanding a Nashville arena. This is Marcus! He's huge! Her voice cracked. Millions of streams, y'all! He's loaded! The family stilled. James's beer hit the grass. Lorraine's plate slipped. My dad's spatula froze. I'd buried my success. Stage name, no local press, just another face here, wanting one day as Marcus. Kayla's reveal shattered that. Why you hide it? She pressed. I shrugged, guitar in hand. Didn't think you'd listen. Their silence was a mirror, reflecting their venom back. Jaden bolted forward, thrusting his notebook at me. Uncle Marcus, I wrote this, he yelled. It was a poem, my star, scrawled in his shaky hand, about me defying their hate, shining bright. The last line burned. Uncle Marcus sings for the world, and I'm proud he's mine. I read it aloud, voice cracking, each word a slap to their cruelty. Grandma Rose nodded, tears falling. Tanya covered her face. James stared at his shoes, smirk gone. Lorraine's hands shook, no quip ready. Jaden spoke again, fierce. Y'all said he's nothing, but he's everything. He's my hero. His voice, small but mighty, exposed their pettiness, leaving them exposed. Aunt Sheila whispered, Kid's right. Marcus, you're the real deal. I looked at my dad. He coughed, eyes glistening. Didn't know, son, he mumbled. Another song. I played one about home, roots that scar but anchor. Hands clapped, cautious but real. Tanya hugged me, whispering, I'm sorry. Grandma Rose gripped my hand, her smile a quiet triumph. Then I turned to Jaden, his eyes still shining. Kid, I said, loud enough for all to hear, you stood up for me. That's worth more than anything. I reached into my pocket, pulling out a folded document I'd carried, unsure why until now. This is for you. It was a trust fund deed, $1 million, set up for Jaden's future, college, dreams, whatever he chose. I'd planned it months ago, inspired by his letters about my music, but hadn't intended to reveal it here. Your poem showed me who I am, I said. This is my way of saying thanks. The family gasped. Lorraine's jaw hit the floor. James choked on his drink. Tanya's eyes widened, pride mixing with shock. Jaden, confused but grinning, hugged me tight. "Uncle Marcus, you're crazy," he laughed. The crowd buzzed, their mockery now a distant echo. My dad stepped forward, voice low. "That's something, son." For the first time, I saw respect in his eyes. The reunion didn't erase their scars. Lorraine muttered about showing off later, and James skulked off. But Jaden's poem and my gift rewrote the day. Tanya invited me to her next speech. Dad asked about Nashville, genuinely curious. Driving away, guitar in the truck, I felt unburdened. Not absolved, but whole. My reunion video, with Jaden's poem, went viral, landing a global tour. Their hate had been a chain, but Jaden's heart and $1 million gift broke it. I was Marcus, and I was enough.